here on 97.1 FM Talk. So I brought this story up last week, and I found it quite interesting just because this seemingly is so easy to do. A hacker has landed a very shiny prize. This is how it was described in the Forbes report about this. A very shiny prize at the end of the cyber rainbow, the Transportation Security Administration's no-fly list. And this story is actually rather interesting. George Rosenthal, who is our go-to expert on this, one of the owners of ThrottleNet, is with us this afternoon to talk about this. Hey, George, how are you?
Very good, very good. I'm actually down in Phoenix at an industry conference talking about cybersecurity. So
well,
this
okay.
is a perfect topic.
Right, but now you're just rubbing it in because we got snow on the way. I saw what you did there. Come on, man. That's not fair.
You see that was a little sleight of hand there. But I will say it is chilly in Phoenix. It's a balmy 50 degrees. So
that's cold for Arizona. By the way, I want to apologize because last week, I think you were here last week, and I walked in and I saw someone's back of their head with Julia, who you work with at the station. And later I said, hey, Julia, who is that? And she said, it was George Rosenthal. I'm like, so I apologize. I didn't see you.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay.
This is fascinating, though. So this is a Swiss hacker that basically was bored that stumbles onto the no-fly list, George?
Yes, and was blogging about it while doing it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so it goes, we always talk, whenever you have me on, we talk about ransomware and stealing money. Well, this person was just literally bored. They did not have anything to do and were out looking for open servers. And they found a bunch of servers, up to 20 of them, before they hit what she called the jackpot. And she said, she went into all these different, what they're called open source testing servers. So what that means is they're not using Microsoft Windows or they're not using Apple's Macintosh operating systems. It's an open source, which is very dangerous to have connected directly to the internet. And for some reason, Commute Air, which is a small airline, had all these servers that were testing servers open and to the public, and she got in and started going through them. And as she's going through the data, finds a file called nofly.csv, which is basically a data file. And when she opened it, there was 1.5 million lines that had there was roughly 81,000 people on the list, about 1,000 Americans, mostly on the list were obviously people from all over the other part of the world. But the interesting thing was all of the aliases that all of these people go by were on this list. Oh. So all the bad criminals are people that are banned from flying completely, and all of their aliases are out there. The other thing that she stumbled upon was Commute Air's employees' information. So
I didn't know
thankfully
that.
There was no customer data. Yeah, so she was bragging about how she got employee information, but she said she was not going to release it. She was going to keep it to herself, and she was only going to let the no-fly list out to somebody who could be, in her words, responsible with it. So I think that, I don't know if she was doing it to be malicious or just point out that she could do it, because one of the bragging rights that she had is that I'm so bored, it took me less than a day to hack into an airline. I mean, that's pretty brazen. So, yeah, and thankfully it's a 2019 no-fly list, so it's not the actual today's fly list, no-fly list. And according to the government, TSA has said that no airline has the actual modern list. But I don't know how the 2019 list got over there to Commute Air.
Yeah, so her quote to Forbes was very interesting. I had owned them completely in less than a day. Well, that was actually something I think she tweeted out with pretty much no skill required. And then she says that was my first experience with anything aviation, really. Did she commit a crime just for doing this? Is that a crime what she did or not?
Oh, absolutely.
It is, okay.
Absolutely it is. Oh, absolutely.
Well, I didn't know if
I
didn't know if you kind of poke a hole, if it's automatically, if you don't disseminate the information or anything like that. But this, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here, George, and why I think this is important, and I think there's some themes that cross over, is we're coming off this period where a month ago, I can't believe it was a month ago already with Christmas, we had everything that happened with Southwest Airlines. We know what happened with the FAA a couple of weeks ago. Are a lot of these kind of related? There's commonalities?
I do. So what's interesting is that we actually flew Southwest down to Phoenix, and I asked some of the flight attendants about that, and the two flight attendants that I talked to flat out told me that it was their software error at Southwest. So at first he kind of went, well, it was the weather. And then I went, really? I'm in IT. I kind of know it isn't the weather. And she goes, because, look, the weather's not going to cancel. It's going to cancel some flights. It's not going to cancel the whole country of 17,000 flights. So I believe, and what she was telling me was that it is a software error from Southwest. So I don't know that they're connected. But I'll tell you what, it's a wake-up call for every industry that this can happen, that literally a 20-something in Sweden can get into your servers and find out the no-fly list, which should be proprietary, lockdown government information. And so, again, it comes back to no matter whether you think that they're going to try and take money from you as a ransom or whether they're just trying to be mean because they're bored, everybody out there should be taking major steps. I mean, right now, literally, I'm sitting with 400 people in this giant auditorium talking with a member of the NSA who is up on stage talking about the attacks that are happening and that there's a whole supply chain of how the data is stolen, but then pieces of it are then sold out to be used for other malicious attacks.
I think one of the common ground or the common bonds that these have had too, when we talked to you about these over the last couple of years, whether it's the government or a company that gets paralyzed, is the hackers don't have a lot of trouble getting in. They make it pretty easy on them.
No, yes, and yes, it's amazing to me that an open sourced, unlocked down server, and there's 20 of them, were open to the internet. That just fascinates me. So you can put the highest, most expensive routers in place and all these different walls in place. But if you leave a server open to the world, I just think people are everybody's mentality, even outside of the show me state, is, oh, it's never going to happen to me. Let's not worry about it because it costs money to go in and secure these servers. So I think it's going to start to be awakening here as industries start to feel it.
George, when you're down there, have you guys discussed, do you have the latest scam that that these people are now doing on us? I always like to know the latest.
It's so funny you asked that. I literally, before we got on the call here, they went over the newest thing, and that is they are contacting employees of companies, no matter what size. They're sending emails out, but they're offering a part of the ransom to the employee. So they're telling
wow.
the employees, look, we're going to ask for $500,000 from your company. We won't say a thing, but if you click this link and give us a password, we'll give you $100,000.
Hey, can you forward them my contact information by any chance? Just out of curiosity, give them my cell phone. Just hook them right up, George.
If you do that, you're going to jail. If you do that, you're going to jail.
Exactly. Oh, that is nuts, George. Wow.
So they're actually using the employees now to get in and offering them cash, and they promise not to tell.
But why?
Owners,
that does not surprise me. It really does. When you think about it, it makes sense, right?
Well, wouldn't they
Sadly.
be able to trace, George? I mean, through the system, which employee did it? Oh, I guess they do it from their own phone or something else. Yeah,
so
of course.
It'd be really tough. You'd have to go in and forensically look at it because what they do is they would send an email out. The employee clicks on a link that immediately lets that hacker in, and then they will then either ask for passwords or information like that. And if the employee gives it to them or even just lets them onto their desktop, laptop, computer, then they're in. Now, of course, is the employee guaranteed to get paid by the hacker? No.
Nope.
But if people get greedy and they see a six-figure number and they go, wow, I can still keep my job and make $100,000.
Well, I will keep you posted on that. I will certainly keep you posted on that. George, you have a good time in Phoenix, and we will hook up again because these stories happen all the time. I appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Take
Appreciate
care. This opportunity.
George Rosenthal from ThrottleNet, which, man, what are they going to think
genius.
of next? Right? It is, right. That doesn't make, and that's probably been happening for a while, and we didn't even know about it.
Well, yeah, and then I wonder if they do pay. Probably not.
You might be surprised, though.
Maybe.
Again, so I'll keep you posted. Hey.